missed you all this morning, so I'm greatly looking forward to sharing this time with you right now. We're going to be taking a look at what happened today. We're going to take a look at the S&P 500 over here, also checking in, of course, on the NASDAQ, the Dow, and even this big move here on the Russell. We're going to talk about why the dollar is bid today and why we're also seeing precious metals also bid today, what we make of that. And we're also going to take a look here at Bitcoin. You could see pumping now into the resistance area, see if it breaks overnight. We're going to do all that right now. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading Investing. We were traveling this morning. I missed this morning's live stream with you all. Looking forward to tomorrow's morning. We will be there scheduled at a regular time. By the way, if you want to get updated about those live streams when we go live, there's a Telegram broadcast channel linked below in the description. If you do click on that, you will be alerted when we do go live. We're going to start here on the S&P 500. We're going to follow our normal flow, going then into the... We're going to start here on the S&P 500 and then followed by the NASDAQ, Dow, and then into the Russell, following our normal flow before we get into the dollar and then precious metals and Bitcoin. Look, just starting over here. And by the way, I was away from my desk all day long. We were traveling. So right now, this session for me is really important because I need to get back into that flow, right? By tomorrow morning, I should have a really good read. I will not be taking any trades in FX this evening. I will be standing aside. Tomorrow's Friday, and simply just because of my schedule today, I don't feel like taking any new trades. By the way, there were more than a few good ones overnight. All right, let's just look at this right now from a TA standpoint over here, S&P 500. You could see that we have pulled back and testing and have held this area of support right over here and are now resuming up. The question you might be asking me is, well, is this a place I would look to go long right now? And it's not. This looks good here, the fact that we held this support over here. There are some better looking entries that are occurring right now that occurred earlier today. We'll take a look at those. Nevertheless, all I'm seeing here right now, and by the way, this seems to be, once again, a lot of this price action seems to be off of stimulus talks, right? It seems now that they're going to try to get something done during the lame duck period. It depends on who wins the presidency. It depends on who wins the Senate. There's a couple of base cases floating around over there. I don't know which is correct, which is not. It seems that if the Democrats were able to win the presidency and also the Senate, that they might pass a small bill, like a $500 billion bill, and then something larger, shortly thereafter. And it seems that if President Trump is able to maintain control of the presidency and the Republicans, the Senate, it looks like we'll be seeing something like a $1.5 trillion package, and that would be like a one-time thing. There would no be direct stimulus coming after that. We will see. It's obviously an ongoing fluid situation. That's obviously dependent on who wins not only the presidency but the Senate. But here today, you could see that it looks like the indexes like that. You could see also the metals and Bitcoin are also bid on that. We'll take a look. So by the way, S&P 500 holding this area of support. It's as clean as can be. Again, just these trend lines, the TA that we do, so useful for setting your risk. You could see that we came into the area of support and have held, making a higher high below this other low, which was resistance, closing above that. Nevertheless, I don't want to chase. Look at this big candle here. This is why I would not take this trade. I don't want to go ahead and make an entry off such a big candle and such volatility today. However, let's look what else is going on. NASDAQ also, you could see, and let me zoom out a little bit. So if I zoom out, so some people might be wondering, is that a cup and handle? Is that, you see a cup there? And is that a handle? It could be. I'm not looking at it like that. I'm going to continue just following my own TA over here. And I see that we held this area of support over here, closing above this support over there. Nice two big wick candles down over there, making a higher high over here. I have to say I like this one a lot better than on the S&P 500. This is something to consider over here today. This looks like a pretty good opportunity over there. Now, tomorrow is Friday, right? Still plenty of time though. We got 2 sessions overnight and then into New York, plenty of time over here. The momentum is obviously not to the upside over here. It looks like a decent opportunity. It's one to consider. and not much else to say about that. Am I going to take? No, I'm traveling today. I'm away. I'm just observing and trying to see things play out. But this one between the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq looks a lot better of an opportunity. Let's check out the Dow over here. All right, so the Dow is interesting. The Dow is actually interesting and not in a bullish way, right? So you can see we broke out of the channel over here, right? And then we've come up and are now retesting that broken support, and that could hold as a resistance. A resumption off of here, that could set up a short trade here, a sell here on the Dow overnight. Entirely possible so long as this resistance continues holding all of Asia, and then if London were to go ahead and make a lower low than the Asian session, that would set up a sell signal for sure. Or that could happen with New York making a lower low than the London session, so long as this area continues to hold over here, which was support now as resistance. Climb back up into that channel, and then that trade never triggers, and then you stand by. That's an interesting trade here. If we do get any type of sell-off after today's price action. So something to be aware of. And here on, if I go to the Russell, you could see in the afternoon video yesterday, I talked about, as one of the possible scenarios was coming back into this area of support over here, right? The support over here at 1608, or into the hyperbolic trend line over there. And I said I would be looking to lean in and buy off either one of those. I was in the air, not happening, but you could see that what happened is we came right into the trend line over there and then making the higher high. That right there is the entry of the day. It's a beautiful entry. If you go back and watch yesterday's video, it is at the 1631 mark. You will see where we begin talking about that exact entry if you make a higher high off of that line. That was the only thing that I liked on the indexes yesterday. Right today, though, kind of you could play either way. If this holds over here that we just talked about on the Dow, that is setting up a short over here, and as well as right now on the Nasdaq, that's a long triggering right over here, and it also looks very good. Obviously, your stop loss would have to be under the low over here, not under the trend line itself. It would just be under the spike low today. We had a double touch almost over there. My stop loss would be right over there, targeting the trend line up over here, just to take a little bit off, a decent amount, 20, 30%, move your stop loss to break even. And then at that point, try to see if we're able to break out now and go any higher. So both ways, looks like a long is set up here on the Nasdaq, a possible short here on the Dow. You need the confirmation on the Dow to get a trigger. And on the S&P, although this is looking a lot more like bullish price action over here, I would stand aside. My question is, to me, why, and again, I was away from my desk all day long. I'm a little out of the flow. That's the importance of this session over here for me to really get back into it for tomorrow morning. And you could see over here, I'm not exactly sure this disconnect that we have between the dollar. We've had this really tight inverse correlation between the US dollar and between precious metals. You see that breaking today with both the dollar and gold up, as well as silver and Bitcoin up, obviously, very nicely. Why is that? Well, could it be, I don't know. Could it be that the dollar is bid coming into the US election? Possibly. By the way, that's probably then more, that makes sense. Everyone's expecting this. I believe I heard a survey today that there was 80% of people, I don't know who these people are, whether or not they were fund managers or who was being polled, but 80% expect that it will be a contested election. That's a really high number. Is the dollar starting to get bid on that? I don't know. It would make sense if that were the case, that you see the dollar and both gold bid, both safe haven currencies. I think that the gold, silver, Bitcoin are probably much more bid on some type of stimulus talk that we're seeing today. Though obviously more further stimulus would benefit all those things. It wouldn't benefit the dollar. So it is a little weird that we're seeing that little bit of bid on the dollar, but it's a light bid. I see this developing right now. I see this channel right over here. So let me just go ahead and break this down from a TA standpoint. right? We talked about once we break out over here of this channel, right, that we'd be targeting up in this area between 94 and then that trend line right over there. Up in that area, that trend line is coming in at 94.11, 94.10 in that area. If you go ahead and you look and you add this little bit of a channel that I see developing right now as we speak together, right? Go ahead and add that in. That's going to be like a triple confluence right over in that area, right? So that would be a place that I would expect or be looking for this move here to lose a little bit of steam. I'm going to go ahead and just draw this in as well. That's the bottom portion of the channel. And if we pull back over here, I'm going to look for this bottom area to hold as support now. So we'll just keep an eye on that right now. All right. We're just going to keep an eye on this little channel we got going over here now. There's not much to add to that right now. Just a heads up. So as long as we stay within this channel, we're expecting this lower trend line to support to hold. And then once we got towards this area over here, that might be where this current move tops out. It doesn't look like we're seeing any type of, how should I say, a flow into dollars. I think that this is just a little bit of short-term strength. I do not know how, it doesn't appear to me right now that it has legs. If it breaks above this trend line over here, you can see over here, this was an area of resistance, right? Resistance. Here on the way up, it should be resistance again. If we break above that, that's when we could look really for a bigger, more powerful move here on the dollar. Let's take a look again also at gold over here. And again, there's been a lot of people trying to play this both ways, looking to sell and then buy and sell. And I've tried to get everyone just stay on the sides right over here until we break out from this consolidation. It's as clear as can be. You're in no man's land right now on the precious metals. A lot of people are hurt this morning who are selling this morning. Those were the people buying yesterday. Probably they're buying again today. Maybe they get lucky this time, but I would wait for the breakout here of that trend line in order to firm up a clear buy signal here on gold. What about on silver? Are we seeing the same thing there? Same exact thing over there. Obviously, silver still lagging a little bit. Right now, it's below the 2450 resistance. But just to keep things really simple, it is consolidating in that triangle. Both triangles are extremely bullish after this huge moves up on the precious metals over here, now going into this extensive consolidation period. Looks like, they should break out to the upside. If we do we'll see what happens. What about Bitcoin? Again, going back to yesterday morning in the live stream, this was the trade that looked the best from a swing trader's perspective for myself. We talked about where we're playing the stop loss and why. We talked about what we're targeting and why. And you can see right now we're just into this resistance right now, right? You could just see that we tested that the other day. We're back there now. Bitcoin, in order to make its next leg up, is going to have to go ahead and break above that. But there's not much else to add except that Bitcoin continues to look solid over here. All right, everyone, I'm going to keep this one short. Again, the importance here for me was really just trying to get my feel back. Really being away all day, it makes a big difference. Not having that, your thumb on the pulse of the market. But again, that's why we do this. The more time you put into your analysis, the more it pays off. I think it's one of the biggest edges you can give yourself. Tomorrow morning should be a good session. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you all then.